Hi, I'm Minky from Ivo.
I'm Caitlin from Ivo. Today, we're excited to give you a crash course on our AI-powered repository. Repository allows users to extract intelligence from their agreements. We've made a number of updates that we believe are truly groundbreaking and will change the way companies interact with contracts.
Let's get right into the product. Repository can accommodate up to 1 million documents. You can upload contracts directly to Ivo's repository or connect Ivo across a variety of data sources where your documents already live.
Part of what makes Ivo Repository so special is how it automatically organizes your contracts and builds relationship trees of related documents. Ivo's proprietary clustering algorithm recognizes over a dozen relationship types, such as parent documents, amendments, addenda, superseding agreements, and more, ensuring all related documents are automatically linked.
Building on relationships, Repository offers a powerful way to visualize how an agreement has evolved across amendments over time. We call this the Composite view. Instead of looking at an original contract and its amendments separately, Ivo displays one consolidated contract that includes all of the amendments applied in sequence. With this timeline slider, you can toggle to see the contract at its original signing, then at the point of each amendment. When you select a point in time, Ivo displays the contract language at that point with changes highlighted. For example, you might see here that section 1.2 was deleted by the first amendment. It'll be struck out and noted as removed. And maybe section 5.1 was modified by the second amendment. You'll see the new language highlighted in green. Essentially, Ivo is showing you this is what the contract looks like as of today.
Repository can also compare contracts to identify what's standard versus what's an outlier. Ivo automatically figures out which agreements came from the same template, even if they've been substantially negotiated. We figure out your standard positions on key issues and use those to generate risk scores for deviant contracts. You can easily drill down into your riskiest contracts and see exactly where the problems are. For example, if most of your vendor SaaS agreements tend to follow a similar boilerplate, Ivo will recognize that and treat it as the baseline. Then, when one particular contract deviates, say it has an extra clause or drastically changed provision, Ivo will flag it.
Once Repository has clustered agreements together and built a clear picture of how your organization actually negotiates, it can go a step further, automatically generating contract playbooks. By analyzing the full distribution of clauses across your portfolio, Ivo can surface your best positions, the terms you push for and most often win, your fallback positions, compromises you've agreed to in practice, and even the worst case scenarios, outlier terms you've accepted in rare circumstances. This transforms playbook creation from a manual exercise into a data-driven one grounded in the reality of your negotiated agreements.
Now let's take a look at the repository interface. Every column of data you see can be created on the fly and populated by AI. Ivo lets you decide any attribute or clause you want to track and extracts that from the documents automatically. Let's walk through a quick example. Say I want to create a view of all SaaS vendor agreements that include an exclusivity clause. With Ivo, I can do that in just a few clicks. First, I click Create AI field and select Make Custom Column. I simply describe what I'm looking for in plain language. Is this a SaaS vendor agreement? And choose a yes or no data type. Behind the scenes, Ivo's AI reads through every contract and evaluates whether it fits the idea of a SaaS vendor agreement, even if those exact words aren't in the contract. Once it's done, Ivo adds a new column to our table that says yes or no for each document. Next, I'll add another AI-generated column. This time, I want to know, does this contract have an exclusivity provision? I choose yes or no, and Ivo goes through all the SaaS contracts and fills in the answer for each. In a matter of seconds, I have a new column indicating which contracts contain exclusivity clauses.
Ivo can extract these fields from large datasets with extremely high accuracy, significantly more so than what you could get out of a generic tool like ChatGPT or Copilot. In fact, when we evaluated Repository's accuracy against the state-of-the-art Contract Understanding Atticus dataset, or QUAD, we actually discovered a number of errors in the human lawyer labeled data. It seems that Ivo is actually more accurate than humans. We can also open each document and inspect each AI-generated field ourselves. Ivo will automatically navigate us to the relevant passage in the agreement.
We've seen how Repository gives you structured views and dashboards. Now let's switch gears and explore Ivo's Assistant, your AI contract analyst who can query across all your documents. Let's try a complex query. I'm going to ask which of my agreements are coming up for renewal in the next 6 months that are going to automatically renew unless terminated with 90 days notice, but also allow price increases at renewal. For a dataset of tens or hundreds of thousands of contracts, this could take a human team literally months of work. Our AI agents will autonomously figure out the best way to follow your instructions and then use the same repository features that you have access to build a custom view for you. Let's wait for the assistant to complete its work. Once it's done, Assistant will generate a report for you, sharing additional insights and showing its work. When Assistant generates a table, you can inspect the fields that it has created and the filter that it has applied and update them if necessary. If you're happy with the view, you can save it to your repository and download it as a spreadsheet. Assistant is also not limited to one-off questions. It's a conversational tool, so I can go back and ask, out of these, which are over 100,000 in contract value? Remember, at any point in time, you can always trace Assistant's reasoning and verify the sources.
Contract drafting and negotiating is often a siloed activity. Each time a document is opened in Word, it feels like you're starting from a blank space devoid of any context. You can now access Repository and therefore your wealth of contextual knowledge from your previously negotiated contracts from within Word. You can ask queries like, can you give me other examples of times we have agreed to limitation of liability carve-outs for breaches of data privacy? And we can get a complete list of all agreements that meet that criteria to inform the way that we negotiate this document in front of us. Those were the latest updates to Ivo Repository. With clustering, composite views, AI-powered columns, and the assistant working across your documents, we're showing what contract intelligence really looks like.
This is where the future of contracting is headed. Faster, more accurate, and grounded in the reality of your negotiated agreements. We're excited to share it with you, and we can't wait to see how you put it to work.